Hey, welcome to the Soul Society. We're on. We're live. What's good?
A lot.
Right.
Oh, I wanted to tell you. So today, we'll just jump right in. I was thinking as I got home and was like trying to situate chatting with you and like sitting on my couch and everything and having to change into pajamas pretty much to do so because outside clothes.
We don't record in those. Yeah.
What?
We don't record in outside clothes.
Well, we just don't sit on home things in outside clothes. You know what I'm saying?
That's so Caribbean.
So I have tons of piles of clothing in my house of things that can definitely get another wear, but I'm not going to be putting with my clean clothes in my closet. So I need to have a place where I have a closet dedicated to outside clothes that can be reworn. It needs to be more than a rack.
Okay.
I change outfits every day, but that means I could rewear something like the next. So I need like 7 outfits, and then I have like my like sweats, right, that I'll wear to like run an errand. Now it's an outside piece.
So you have your like very clean clothes, and then you have your semi-clean clothes, and they need to not touch. There's no cross-contamination.
There's no cross-contamination.
I do understand that.
It's either you're right out of the laundry, perfect mint condition, crispy, or you're not. And then you're on a chair in my place, and that just can't happen because now I'm like staring at mountains of clothes that are like relatively clean, but not clean enough to fold and put away.
And do you think you have OCD?
If I do, it's not diagnosed.
Because I'm like, I hear you, I understand. What the mental gymnastics of having to keep them separate, in a sense, yeah, because you can't just put your clothes away every day. That doesn't exist for you unless you have a different closet or apartment.
Right, and so that's what I need.
Right. Maybe that's an IKEA thing.
In my studio, there's nothing IKEA can give me that can build that out.
Okay.
That's a space thing. That's I need to make more money in my life thing.
Maybe it's about getting creative, getting on the Pinterest, doing one of those things where you have something hooked up to the ceiling.
I can't hook anything to my ceilings here. That was the one thing they told me.
And that is the extent of all of my ideas for this. But
because I wanted to put cool lighting, and they were like, you can do anything with the walls. You just can't.
Put on like a command thing.
I mean, yeah, I have at my entrance for my coats, but those came off because like the weight.
Also, this is a real big question. When the people say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. In rentals, obviously you can't, but we do. How far do you push those limits? Because that is a quick patch up.
No, I don't think it's a patch up thing. I think it's a structural thing with the ceiling specifically. Like I think the pipes and stuff go through there between floors and everything. Because yes, they would prefer for you to like not touch any of the walls, but they were like, if you put any hole, like it's fine. They can patch up the walls. They just like can't. You just can't mess with the ceiling. So I don't know. Not something I'm going to risk.
These are the parts of you that I find so original. I've never heard. Listen, I talk to people about the outside clothes, the inside clothes. I've never heard the concept of my outside clothes or the clothes that I wore outside, although clean, but I guess technically not if you're talking about outside. Also, you live in New York City. I'm getting in a car, sitting in somewhere, getting back in that car, coming inside. You have the air of a million, billion people and things, rats, whatever. So fair. Your clothes are no longer clean, actually, when you leave outside because you live in New York City.
Yeah, if the bottom of my pants touch, I don't know, a fire hydrant or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
it's still a jungle.
On the floor for a second, or like I'm sitting and I step on the bottom of my pants.
Yeah.
No.
You live in a jungle. It happens to be concrete, but it's still a jungle. So, in essence, your clothes are not even semi-clean.
Sometimes I'll put them away if it's like sweats and I am just staying in the area and there isn't still like 4 feet of freaking snow outside that I'm wading through, which is what the case is now. Ridiculous. We're 2 or 3 weeks after the storm at this point, and there's still ice single file lines down the road.
I saw that on the TikTok. Mm-hmm.
Those I'll like put away, but as soon as I venture to subway territory, doesn't matter if I sit or I don't sit, none of that is getting put away. That is all staying on like a chair or somewhere. And I take off my pants, like the ones that have things that can kind of drag on the floor. I take those off at the front of my door with my shoes because I'm not dragging any of that through my place.
So much to think about.
Yeah, I know. It's just like second nature to me now. It's just the thought is there. There's no thinking about it. It's just there.
Yeah. It's living in New York, living in a big city, living in a major city.
But yeah, so that was my thought today, that I need a dedicated closet to second and third wear items.
Mm-hmm. This might be a problem that many people have that you are in discovery phase of a solution for. I fear millions are coming your way. I
don't know about that. I feel like there are a lot of people who don't really care and will just put stuff back.
We're not talking about them, you see?
But
there's a specific audience who's dying for you to figure this out. You have an idea. An idea is energy. You have now put it out there. If you don't take control of it, somebody else will. Millions you've just flushed. Just saying. Okay, you want to know what I thought about this week? Do you remember when we first met? Because I don't.
No.
I have no memory of when we first met, but I remember when I was first mad at you. The first time I was ever upset with you. I don't remember what happened. But I remember where we were. We were at house, bleep that. And
house.
Yeah. For like a pool party.
Miami?
Yes. For a pool party.
Okay.
And it was all of us. Mm-hmm. I think my sister was there too.
Yes.
But it was like our first time like really, really hanging out outside of Gainesville. And I remember like in Miami, like, I'm part of this group that's already an established group, but like now I'm hanging out with them in Miami, right? And you had an opinion about something. That's it. And I was like, how dare she have an opinion, be opinionated at all? Little did I know, I would come to find so much understanding in that part of you. At the time, I didn't know that part of myself. And I was like, she's rude. I was at dinner this week. I was like, I'm telling the story I'm curious if she remembers when we first met and if she remembers the story. And our friends were like, you cannot tell her how you felt. And I was like, do you guys not know her? She's going to find this hilarious.
Wait, why couldn't you tell me how you felt?
Because they would think that you would get sensitive if I said that I thought you were rude. And I was like, she's going to love it. Please.
You think it's the first time I've heard it? Please.
Yeah. Like, but I don't remember the details, but I remember in my brain being like, she's opinionated. And then later developing, we have the same opinions about these things that she's opinionated about and find common ground. And then I was thinking, so like, when did we actually become friends? We were orbiting in the same group, but when did we actually connect? It was well before Mexico.
It was before Mexico. It was before Mexico because we started, when I would come down to Miami, we started doing happy hours, you and I. And I think we started connecting over your interest in wanting to do like PR stuff and similar kind of workspace that I was in. And yeah, then we started talking because of that.
So it's a personal question. When did I decide you weren't rude anymore? Is really the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, like when you decided.
Spending more time with you, I'm sure, like going up more. But at that time, you weren't hanging out at the house when I was hanging out at the house in Gainesville. not too much.
No, because I lived across the street.
Yeah. But then we'd come down and we'd do Friendsgivings. We would do like little holiday stuff. Liz would always host something.
Yeah, but she wasn't living in the States yet.
True. Anyway, I was jogging my memory. It's too long ago.
I don't know. That's a question for you that you have to do some introspection on, because I would ask then when you stop when you thought that I was no longer rude.
I think it was still,
you know what it was?
What?
You know what it probably was too? Because I was coming to some like birthday parties or events and Buddha liked me.
Loved you. Oh my God. That's what it was. And he was like, you don't understand this girl. And I was like,
which is hilarious because I've maybe said 2 words.
But he was like, yeah, I got like your vibe and loved the opinionated or the not. It was your black hat energy. He was like, I get her. And why don't you get her, you loser? And I was like, oh my God, I refuse to be a loser. I understand Bianca too. And I love her. And you don't even know these people. And I hate you.
Meanwhile, like on the other end, we're all like, ew.
Literally, you always said 2 words to him because little did he know. Anyway, we got to the bottom of that. That is actually the answer.
I think that's the
it was a long time ago, but yeah.
And then you were just like, not that you were ever not nice to me, but obviously something in you decided that you wanted to continue to be nicer to me.
And then the more we got to know each other, the more I was like, we think the same. You just say the thing that I'm thinking.
And then, because then we were hanging because like that was the time as well. I wasn't really hanging out with anyone, I guess, when I would come down to Miami.
No, people didn't know.
And you weren't really, you and Jess were going through it.
Mm-hmm.
So we would do like just happy hours in Aventura.
Right. Oh my goodness gracious. And here we are. Okay, I wrote things down in the notes. Is there anything that happened this week that you want to discuss before I go in?
No.
Because I was about to tell everyone about me getting hypnotized 1 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Wait, I want to hear about this. Okay. I was like, wait, what am I supposed to tell you about this week?
Just anything. Current events, any topics?
I'm sure there's stuff, but you can take the floor. I'm like really curious how, first of all, how does a hypnotism work? How'd you find this person? Let's back it up.
It's my actual therapist. So I had therapy scheduled 1 p.m. on this Tuesday. And what
an interesting time for a therapy.
I no longer do that.
Yeah, because as soon as you're like done, you can't work on anything. No. Depending on how the session went, it's like you can't.
Well, that's a whole different topic because I am way too highly functioned. That's the problem. There's no point. There are points where I'm like, I physically can't. My brain is shot and I'll still push. That happened that day. We're working on it. Self-compassion and giving self-permission to rest.
You went back to work after... That's absurd.
I had a meeting with you that night after hours of work.
Yeah, but that was us chatting.
Yeah. So basically, weeks prior, I got to the point, like 2 weeks prior to this session, I got to the point where I was like, okay, I can intellectualize and understand anything I'm going through for the most part, but I'm not feeling it as much as I should to really get to the root of healing and to feel, to even define how I want to feel if I'm not actually feeling what I feel now. And so I wrote in my journal or my notes, I would love to get into EMDR or like some sort of somatic therapy. So our last session, I was kind of discussing and what I was talking to you about on the phone earlier this week, just like how the circumstances of living at home and all of the uncontrollable things that come up when you live with your parents, that it was like really, really getting to me. I'm able to adjust and I have been it's been like 9 or 10 months now, but this week I couldn't. Like my to-do list was too high and the things that I couldn't control were really, really getting to me. So I was trying to find like better coping mechanisms, but I was like, I got to feel my feels and stop just telling everyone it's okay and looking like I got it all figured out, because then no one is going to also be of assistance or help me figure this out.
Sure.
So I'm telling her in therapy, first 5 minutes. I did 2 meditations this morning, journaled twice, bro. And I know that I'm feeling things. And when I go to journal them, I'm like, but it's okay, to myself. And I was getting really frustrated about it. So I opened up to her about how I was hoping to get into some sort of somatic healing. And she was like, how do you feel about hypnosis? And I was like, I'm super open to it because it would get me into a deeper state than I can get to myself with my meditation practice. And I'm curious to know what would come up for me. So she was like, all right, let's do it. Huh?
Oh, so it was in real time. It wasn't like something you were planning for.
No, I had no idea, but I think that works for me. If I'm able to, I'm heady. I haven't always been heady. I feel like 2 years ago, a year ago, I was someone who would say, there's nothing going on up here. Like, I'm so present. Not that like my brain isn't working, but I'm so present that I'm just observing my thoughts if I have any of them, but I'm right here with you. And the sky is blue and the grass is green. And it's like, shut up. Okay. And now these days I'm in my brain. I'm living everything in my brain. It's really annoying. It's been frustrating. So that's also what I was telling her. And I think she knows me really well at this point. If you were to give me a week's notice, I'd be spiraling about it. I'd be researching. I'd be on Reddit. I would talk to chat. I would get there and be like, you know what? I don't think I'm ready. So for her to spring it up on me, I was like, well, do I have a choice? Am I going to die? No. She did ask me a couple questions. Does anybody that you know live close? Could they come to you if anything were to happen? I was looking at her like, what's going to happen?
Right, like what has happened?
She said, yeah, someone can get to me in like 5 to 10 minutes. Will they need to? Like, should I send out text messages right now? She was like, just chill. How are you going to ask me that and then tell me to just chill? Please don't listen to my podcast. You know I love you. But anyway, she said, okay, get comfortable. I was on the couch. It was a recliner. I bundled up. I set her up. And it basically was 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes of her guiding me into the deepest meditation I've ever gotten to, basically. And it was beautiful. From head to toe, very, very slowly. A normal meditation, head to toe, you're clearing out your energies or your chakras and you're clearing out tension. Might take maybe 10 minutes, right? 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. From head to eyes, to the back of the eyes, to the nose, all the way down, clearing of tension. So what I realized is I felt like I was asleep because I could hear myself snoring, but I was absolutely in the observing seat. I knew everything that was going on. I could hear her, but I was sleeping.
That's so interesting.
So interesting, but I felt safe. And I could still, like my dog, I could hear my dog like whining in front of me, but it's not like sleep paralysis. Like I'm still like
virtual.
It's virtual.
I don't know.
Okay.
What if it cuts off? What if the internet cuts out? Or like,
yeah, totally. But like, I know. And what if she didn't count me out of it? Because she had to count me out.
What if there's a glitch? All of a sudden there's like a blackout and there's no electric and she never counts you out. And then how do you get... No.
Maybe that's why she said to someone there, they'd have to like come tap me. But how would I get to... Oh my God, Bianca, this could have gone very wrong. But you know how I believe. Everything happens for my greater good.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's been done a million times before. I'm just like, that's where my brain goes.
You see? Basically, it was suggestions, she was calling them. Suggestions about like confidence and trusting yourself. So I don't know how many. It was like, I am, I believe I can, I do, I operate as, when, and then...
You telling yourself this or what?
No, she's telling my subconscious. She's implanting suggestions into my subconscious. What I think on like a neurological level is that there is a part of my brain that is operating and the rest are not. Mm-hmm. So she is actively approaching that part. And then it's deep breaths to solidify the suggestions. And then she counts me out of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I was like, what? And at first, like as she's counting me out, I'm like, I'm awake. you loser. I don't need to be counted out. That one was like, up. I was so skeptical. And then I realized, wait, but I heard myself snore. And then she was like, how was it? I couldn't remember one suggestion she said. Nothing.
Did she tell you what the suggestions were that she gave
No,
you?
she didn't repeat them. She was like, your subconscious knows. It's fine. I was like, what? She was like, they're going to come to you, throughout the week. They have. But she was like, it's okay if you don't remember anything. It wasn't for you consciously to remember. So it's really fine. How do you feel? Dead. Zombie. The most relaxed. It's like I had a 2-hour massage. Every muscle in my body was relaxed. And she was like, you're going to want to go to bed. And I was like, have you seen my to-do list? Oh, well, I can't go to bed, silly. So I had a coffee. And I got back to work and I acted like I didn't get hypnotized randomly in the day. I had things to do. So then it makes sense why I crashed out that night and cried.
Yeah,
I was
raw.
Your
body is like catching up.
Yeah, I couldn't even
give your time. You didn't give yourself the space to do so after and like actually decompress from that or like process what just happened.
Not at all. I didn't process it at all. I was just like, can't wait to talk about it on the pod.
What was different between this or like how, because you did something some
Reiki.
Months ago, the Reiki, but that was not like a normal Reiki. That was like a...
Was it not?
No, that was like tapped into like
ancestral
your subconscious ancestral spirit world.
Because it was also different. Sound.
Or like,
and I don't know, does Reiki always involve sound? I don't know.
I don't know that it does always involve sound. It's mostly, it's like usually just an energy shifting. Work. Yeah.
She was working the energies with the gongs and the sound bowls. So it was sound therapy, sound healing with the Reiki. It was different because it didn't feel like it was, had anything to do with my chakras at all. It was purely subconscious work, my belief systems. Whereas the chakras, you're like healing them. You're focusing on them. You're like breaking up the blockage. So I feel like they go hand in hand. I would love to be hypnotized and then do Reiki. That'd be crazy. Because then I'm like in such a meditative space, whatever happens, I'm not feeling like I have to surrender. I'm beyond that whole getting myself to surrender. I don't have control here. I do, but not as much.
To do is the past life
regression.
The past life, the hypnotherapy to like tap into your past lives.
Yeah,
I'm so curious about that. I don't know, what the realities of it are, like how real they are, how much is like imagination, whatever. But like, I'd be so interested in doing that.
It definitely obviously depends on what you believe, but I do believe in that. And I had a past life reading, but it wasn't regression. It wasn't as detailed. It was just like, I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember what I gave to her to do my past life reading, but she was able to tell me my characteristics and what my soul's mission in this life is in terms of choosing myself, which comes up every day in therapy. Literally. I'm like, I believe that basically mine was that I worked either as a nurse or in an orphanage with sick children, and I was a money martyr. So like all I did was give. I like helped sick people, and I dealt with men who I would go without financially to give to them, which was called a money martyr. And that I fucked my throat chakra up so bad in that lifetime or those lifetimes that my voice box was broken and I couldn't speak. And in this lifetime, I don't shut up. And basically she was saying, in this lifetime, your soul's mission is to be selfish and to like really think about and go after what you want and not for other people, because you've done that in every other lifetime.
Interesting.
And that was 2 weeks before my breakup. So to hear about the voice box issue, and at that time I had a lump in my throat every single day. Every single day. Get it. Do it. Tap everybody and everything.
Tap what?
Tap everyone and everything, all the spirit guides, all the healers.
Oh, yes, tap into them. Yeah, I'm like tapping, tap. Is it tap work?
Have you ever done tapping?
I do it at the beginning of like the class I do. Whoa, where I go for Pilates is a dance studio as well, and they do a lot of that to like open lymph
fire
nodes and stuff, and like get your body moving.
Mm-hmm.
What else is up? What else did you do this week? How was the rest of your week after your hypnosis?
Well, I was about to say downhill from there. that night, called you, cried. Next day, I was like, I need drinks. What did I get? Text messages from our 2 friends. And they were like, we're drinking today. And I said, yeah, we are. And we proceeded to get absolutely wasted on a Wednesday. Okay. We were asked to leave a restaurant, not because we were wasted, because they closed. And they were like, please leave. And obviously our one friend was like, that is ridiculous. Why do we have to leave? It's 10:30 on a Wednesday. How dare you? Because it's 10:30 on a Wednesday. Like, are you serious? Your bar is not open till 11. Of course. Are you kidding? She was not taking no for an answer. They were like, you can go now. Okay, we left. She proceeded to, this is how wasted we got. This is how you know. This is how you know. She took her wine to the bathroom. Now, have we done that many times? Yeah, we'll take our drinks to the bathroom because we live here now.
Clearly.
It's a nice establishment.
I was going to say, it's one thing if you're at a bar. It's another thing if you're like at a restaurant.
No. This is not the first time we've done that. I think,
you guys all went as a group to the bathroom and took your wines?
Only one of us took our wine. It wasn't me. Okay. One person took their wine. Yes, we all left everything at the table.
Well, fine. Because then your drinks are like just out there.
Fine. Now that I'm saying it out loud, like truly that is too common. It's gross. Don't do that. But we get too comfortable in these establishments. We're like, whatever. The drink is in my hand. It's not leaving my hand. Yeah, but I have to go to the bathroom. So, okay. Anyway, we did that. And then what's today? Oh, Thursday. Wow. So the next morning, woke up hungover. Okay. I had 5 hours of sleep and I was supposed to make it an hour away from my house by 9 a.m. to get to a client situation. My car broke down halfway through. Something with parts and pieces. Cars, who cares?
As it is, right?
Hungover, not an ounce of coffee in my system yet because the client, like my business partner was like, please just get to the client. And I was like, okay, I'll get coffee when I get there. I'm struggling. I'm fighting for my life. So I ended up on the side of the highway. Tow truck had to come, go to the dealer. No coffee in my system till like 10:30 a.m.
And what did you do about your client?
I mean, I wasn't that needed. I was like a tier 3 necessity at that day. I was really I was there for optics. So everyone was like, figure out your life. And I was like, great. I think that the universe was like, you're tired. We're going to break your car down. It's covered under warranty. Don't worry, babe. Go to bed. And that's exactly what I did. I ate a foot-long turkey club. Loved every minute of it. That is my go-to hangover meal.
I was going to say, I love that you're saying this is the universe telling you. You were just hungover. And so you...
No, the universe allowed for me to get hungover that day in order for whatever. It's so ridiculous. Either I had a foot long and I caught up on my shows and I scheduled all of my beauty appointments for Tulum the week that I'm luteal. So I'm not even going to feel ugly or fat or bloated. And I'm thriving. I have a tequila next to me. I'm on this with you. Like, it's up and up. I woke up this morning rested, ready for the day. Yeah. That's my update.
I did not wake up this morning rested. I have not been, I've dealt with insomnia like most of my life. And then there was a moment there where I was sleeping pretty well. Like I had a really good cadence. And now I'm back to not being able to go to bed until like 2 a.m. or 1:30. And then I'm up at like 4:30 and can't go to sleep until like 6:30. And then it's like 30 minutes or an hour before I have to be up for work. And I'm exhausted.
How often is this happening to you?
Very. Like most of this week. But it has happened to me for my whole life.
So you're used to operating on 4 hours max?
Yeah, I mean, I don't operate well on it, but...
No, I know. But like in general, that... I'm a monster under 8 hours. A monster. That's insane, B. And like you are, it's not that you have a passive job. You don't get to show up and like just be in front of a computer and like data entry. You're talking, you're moving, you're managing, you're strategizing.
Brain is turning.
Brain is working.
I know.
What are you going to do about that? You're getting an Oura ring?
I have one.
You're so chic.
Could you not tell? It's just like,
no, like I don't know what it looks like. Yeah, it looks very chic. Do you? And does the Oura ring give you suggestions? Does it help at all, or just gives you your data?
It just gives you your data, and it'll say like, ready. Let's see what my readiness score today was. Like,
right, because it tells you how much actual restful sleep you got, not just your sleep.
Restful sleep, and also, all this walking. Restful sleep, but it compiles like your naps and stuff. So it factors in waking up and going back to sleep. It like just compiles it all together for you. But yeah, my readiness was a 77, which isn't bad out of 100.
What does readiness mean?
It means like how ready you are for the day to like take on the day. So sometimes if I'm like out drinking the next morning, I might get 50 and it'll say like, take it easy today. You had an elevated heart rate until very late last night, whatever. It's usually because of drinking that happens. It like raises, or eating really late. Like if earlier this week I ate at like 9 p.m. and then I pretty much went to bed after I had worked out too. That it was actually, I think when we spoke, because I was at the gym. And then I ate after that, like a massive burrito. So my body was like just coming down from working out and then eating a lot and trying to process that. And then I went straight to bed. So that night was like, and it was a restless sleep. So the next day it said, heart rate was elevated until really late last night, probably like 2 a.m. or so. Take it easy today. Just do what your body, it like then gives you some prompted.
Interesting. I feel like a woman invented the Oura ring.
I don't know. It could be better about certain things, but like, so then it gives you like a list of all the contributing factors to your readiness score, and everything's pretty good except for like my recovery index, which is the time of your lowest heart rate at night. It just means how quickly your body's recovering while you're sleeping from the day. Like
I'm so curious about the technology of this Oura ring and how a ring on my finger is picking up all of this.
So it does it. And actually, it's kind of weird. And maybe I'm the only one. But if I'm not, please tell me, world, because it does these like little, it has like lights here, like infrared things. Infrareds or not infrareds. I think it's infrared. But anyway.
Because those are two different words, apparently.
Maybe they're the same and I'm just saying them differently. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a scientist. I just know it does something with lights and it bounces it off of like your vessels to see how,
That is fascinating.
It's something crazy to see like blood flow and then it like
a woman did it
or something.
No. I'm convinced. I know for a fact, actually. And it's not something I'm going to research.
But sometimes it hurts me, which it's not supposed to. But sometimes I feel whatever like wavelengths or something that it's pulsating there. It like makes it sensitive. And I don't know if that's just in my head, but like I will sometimes feel it and then look and I'll see that it's lit up. I don't know. It's like a sensitivity on my skin that I'll like.
You better look that up because there could be a class action lawsuit in 2028 with your name on it.
Well, it's not putting anything into my body. It's not like
just saying.
But yeah, no, I hear you. I think I'm just sensitive and like way too aware of my body.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. That's an accurate statement. I have one more question because I brought up Oprah and I told you probably didn't think about it all week.
No, Mount Rushmore.
Putting you on the spot.
No, I would say that for a while I would have probably, okay. Mount Rushmore, let's dissect this. Who are these people to us? Like, are they super influential in making us just people we would want to meet?
I think you define that for yourself, but it's like, yeah, North Stars in any shape or form. Influential, aspirational, whatever it is. Mine feels very specific to like a genre in a sense, but not entirely.
What was yours again?
Rihanna, number one. I don't even know why I said Z-Way. Please. It's Rihanna. Rihanna, Angie Cohen. No shade. It's just, it's legacy. Rihanna, Angie Cohen, Oprah, Wendy Williams, Barbara Walters.
Barbara Walters was not on your first one. Oh, yeah.
Yes, she was.
Was she?
Yeah,
and then it was
got her confused. I was interviewing Michelle Obama. I was telling Bianca about a... to give some background.
Because in my head, Michelle Obama is still on your Mount Rushmore. So anytime
she should be. You know what?
I thought
sorry, we are replacing
and there's only
Barbara Walters.
On Mount
okay, I made it 5. That's fine. It's a whole hand. Erase Barbara Walters. Mary Kill.
Barbara
Walters. We're adding Michelle Obama, but I was telling Bianca that I had a visualization during a meditation in which I was interviewing Michelle Obama. Michelle was like, so proud of you. Love you. I was like, yeah, love you too. And she was like, it's time to pass the baton. And we have someone coming on stage to pass you the baton. Who walks on stage? Oprah. I fall out. I'm like, oh my God, Oprah's here. So then I asked for my mom, obviously, to join me on stage. It doesn't matter. My mom joins me on stage. Then everybody else from my Mount Rushmore walks onto the stage. Everyone I just named. Barbara Walters is not there. I changed it. But maybe she's in the... Oh, R.I.P. Never mind. Is she alive?
Barbara Walters?
Because that would be so rude. Like, not all white people are the same. You're thinking Betty White, Tatiana.
No, she died in 2022.
R.I.P. Barbara Walters, because I know my girl, and I know that she's dead. So, yeah, that was the dream. So now that you see, Rihanna covers all that I am. Right? The rest are very much in journalism, but they're unapologetically themselves, strong and opinionated, hardworking, built absolute empires for themselves. And then they also stay shady and they have a good time.
No, I would have to actually sit and like look, because see, this is what I'm bad at recall in this way. If I saw something or saw someone, I'd be like, oh,
okay.
I do think that I would have, oh my God, the name literally just slipped me. Meryl Streep.
Okay.
On mine.
Iconic.
I just think she's fabulous.
Fabulous.
Like, the epitome of how I would hope to be received presentation wise.
Mm-hmm.
I know
that's a great one.
But I feel like that is who.
I hate when you talk about yourself this way.
Well, because
freaking gears.
No, because she's just like so sweet and nice and like has this charming, nice quality to her that I know I don't have nor aspire to have. I have edges and I understand that.
Yeah.
So yes, she I know would be on mine, but then it really just depends on so many things. Cause yeah, I think journalists and I'm like Joan Didion actually.
Wow.
Didion. Ruth Reichel.
I don't know who that is.
Ruth Reichel, I became a bit of a big fan of hers. She has a very interesting story. Anyway, I'll spare you.
Look into it if you want. Yeah, no problem.
Writes many books. She was the food writer for the New York Times.
Okay. Is she someone who like they would go to the restaurant? They'd be like, "Homegirl is here. If you don't get that dish out, I'm right now."
So she writes books about it of basically how she worked her way into that industry as a writer from pretty much living. She wasn't like homeless per se, but like they made no money and like lived off, I want to say like efficiency home or like a community living homes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Co-ops?
I don't think she explains it like that, but like, yeah. Yeah. Like where everyone who lives there is providing, not necessarily monetarily, but through cooking or something they're gardening and like everyone.
That one episode of Broad City. Yeah, totally.
And that's like in California. But anyway, she like moves over here and she's doing this for New York. She has a book dedicated to all of the things that her personalities, because basically to be a good critic, she couldn't go as herself. She couldn't call as herself. She had to be different people. And the way she was served and treated at different establishments based on the persona she came in with or was. And she writes this whole book about how the old lady, you know, gets seated in the back by the bathroom, but the really like hot version that's like tits out basically is put in the front window, and like the one alone that looks more like spinster is like whatever, or like turned away because that's not the class of person they want. And she is all these personas, and she isn't calling as Ruth Reichel. She's calling in as whatever persona it is, making that reservation, and sometimes bringing people and whatever.
She's a sociologist.
Well, her mom has like multiple personality, I think, disorder, something.
DID.
So
incredible.
And this is like how she's working through that. And like, wait, like her mom was she's like,
that is fascinating.
No, she is so fascinating. And how this like has, you know, affected some of her relationships and whatever. Fun fact, she had an affair. The reason I even got into her.
Period. Because she fucked on her man. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
My boss at the last place I was working at is like a James Beard Award winning writer.
Sheesh.
And he was her boss, I think, at one point, or her editor, and had an affair with him. And that was like that was a drama within the industry. I think she like writes about it in her book, but it was a thing because they were both pillars within this industry at the time. And so I started to be really curious about it because I was working for this person, and started reading her books and was like, she's phenomenal. I
wonder if there's a documentary on her, because immediately I'm like, so I'm not going to read the book, but I would love to watch.
Because there's like a bunch of different books, and they all go through different points in her life. Kind of how Joan Didion has it too. Like she then also writes separately to her work writing. Just how she talks about food and everything is great as like a food enthusiast myself.
You're at 3 out of 4.
Wouldn't be possible, but Anthony Bourdain.
Why would that not be possible?
Because he's passed. To me.
Yeah, but he belongs on your Mount Rushmore for sure. That is solid. Because they explore. They were fully embodied, autonomous, powerful, went after what they wanted. I wonder what all of their star signs are.
I do too.
I want to know the star sign compilation of my entire Mount Rushmore. But that it goes back to our conversation about the Instagrams. Like that totally explains you.
Yeah. I was just looking and I see Kitchen Confidential on my shelf, and I'm like, yeah. And Ruth Reichel. Actually, they're right next to each other.
Look at her. Look at how she gets tickled.
I'm like, wait, what's under that? Oh, comfort me.
Yeah. It's a good question to ask.
That's so funny. Yeah, I have them like on display. It's just like those 4 books, and it's the Ruth Reichel, and then Kitchen Confidential, and then a book that he recommended, Salt, about the history of salt. Anyway.
No, it's important because at one point it was a form of currency.
We don't
talk about it enough. You haven't. That also scratched my brain when I found that out as a wee child.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, because I talk about that all the time. That's why I thought I said it to you before. Because I'm like, it's the only rock we eat. And it was currency for literally so much of civilization.
It's the only rock we eat.
It's the only reason we're still alive, because we're able to preserve stuff pre-refrigeration and electricity with salt.
Mm-hmm.
Go to any culture around the world.
Like, hello.
It is the start of like the spice trading.
Period.
Anyway.
It opened up passages of, and, you know, everywhere. Yes. Yes. Well, this was the best time ever.
Now I'm processing, but
Mike, any final
words? So many final words. Because now I'm looking at my bookshelves and I'm thinking about my books and I have words, but the final words, goodbye.
Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
See ya.